Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Have No Sphere, right here on the Iron Rail Media YouTube channel. My name is Josh Corey. We have got a packed show for you tonight. We are talking flat Earth tours, flat Earth conventions, and I think we might need to revisit the moon, so to speak. Anyway, stick around. Bound to be a good one. You know us.
We are the way. We are the way. We are not alone. We are striving. Oh. We are the way. We are not alone. We are striving.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Colin Turner starting off the show with a super chat for £2. Thank you so much, Colin. That's a great way to start off a Flat Earth Friday right here on the Iron Realm. I'm digging it. Let's just jump right in and say hello to whoever it is we have. It's bound to be a flat Earth, just because why the hell not? That's how we do it around here. Let's just jump right in and say hello to one Mr. Zachary Zabala, Mr. Too Nice himself. Good times for all. The Nomad. How you doing, Zach?
Pretty good, Josh. It's been a pretty good day. Got a lot of painting and cutting in done. Still not quite done. There's still, I can see how you don't like it. It just gets tedious a little bit, but no, just sitting there and holding that brush perfectly steady and making it nice and neat. There's something about it that just it's kind of calming and relaxing.
For the first 5 minutes, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I was taking a break here and there, but not too bad. Beautiful weather. I mean, I love Florida in the winter. This is the place to be, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I bet it was Florida weather here yesterday. It was damn near 70 degrees. I was in a short sleeve thinking about putting shorts on. And I've got 2 inches of snow. I got about a half inch of snow on the ground right now. I got about another 1.5 inches on the way now through midnight. So welcome to effing Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, don't miss it. I'm enjoying it.
I bet. Well, let's see. Somebody else who knows all about those nice warm winters. Well, reasonably warm is one Mr. Walter Johnson, my other co-host over there on the Ironworks on Tuesdays and Friday mornings on Truth Frequency Radio. Walt, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. I hope you're doing well, my friend. It has been an amazing Friday. We kicked off this morning with a show that, man, we missed 2 in a row with your illness and our ineptitude. So it was great to hit the ground running like we did with Waking Warriors from Twitter. If you don't know her, you need to get over there on Twitter and check her out. It's Sarah 8 Smiles. Been hanging out with her for a long time. Pretty much since I've been on Twitter, she's been there. And it was definitely a show to be remembered. Lots of topics. We focused mostly on the AI, energy attack, weather control. Man, to say we focused on something is really hard to even claim, because we, just like the rest of us in Iron Realm, when a topic excited her, she took off with it. And an amazing show. Definitely for her first time out in the public eye, like she came today with us. It was great. So definitely check that out if you have time. In fact, I plan on downloading it from TFR and making a little video to put up here on our channel and over on my Flat Earth Head channel, because it is just a great show. Great introduction to Sarah, for sure.
So many good sound bites, just little snippets, just little one-liners from her that I could fill up little 10-second videos on our channel just with her giving little nuggets of pearls of wisdom. It was an awesome show. I really dug it. Very natural. She fit right in. She caught onto the vibe real quick and just settled right in and was part of the family.
Right. We talked for probably another almost hour after the show because she said, man, it feels like I'm home. I'm with family. I'm like, right. That's what we hope everybody feels. But certainly it felt like a family member came home with us this morning. So it was great. Definitely check it out.
Very cool. We are also joined by one Mr. John Savage. John, how's the plumbing been going? I hear you doing all sorts of cool stuff. Remote controls or sort of.
Yeah, stuff like that. A remote shower switch, so you don't have to get in the shower and then turn it on. You can do it from outside the shower. So I'm really pushing the boat out on luxury. But yeah, building a table for my incredibly heavy cast iron radiator, and busy looking after the dog who's just had his ear ripped by some little, I don't know, Jack Russell or something. So yeah, interesting. Looking forward to the show.
Poor guy can't catch a break. It seems.
He's having a shitty couple of weeks. He really is. I mean, yeah, poor bugger. But
He hit his ear.
Yeah, no. He's like got a tear in it. I only noticed it this morning. Apparently, he was attacked by some pit bull or some terrier or something or other, playing a bit harsh. And yeah, there was blood all over it and stuff, and there's sort of gaping wounds. So yeah, we're having fun with that. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. Moving on.
Right, bitches dig scars.
I hate to bring things to a sudden halt, but there's an audio issue that just is repeatedly happening. And I just listened to the live, and you certainly can hear it on there. So it might be, Josh, that you and I are both signed into the same account, me trying to launch this before you got here. I'm going to hop out and pop in on my Flat Earth Head account and see if that helps.
All right. And
it definitely seems to be your audio, though, from what I'm playing around with.
That's what I heard as well. But wow, I didn't put that together. Well, that's bloody good.
That might be it. So I'll be back. Sorry, guys.
I'll kill my camera too.
All I can do is end the meeting.
Make somebody else a host.
Okay, cool deal.
And it may not end if I'm in here. I'll just make, you've got all the controls.
All right, I'm working on it. Go ahead. Ignore me.
Done and done. We are also joined by the Adam Meakin. Adam, how's your week been? Reasonably well, at least?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's been one of them, mate. Been one of them from start to finish, actually. Missed the show this morning. And I heard little snippets. Oh, yeah, that's the dome and all the... And it's I'm lined up to listen tomorrow. Because I abandoned. You know when it's really good, I stopped trying to listen. I think just go back fresh, spend the time. So I am really looking forward to that. It sounded cool, guys, but yeah, it's been a mental week. People leaving. I've done everything bar T-Boy. I know I've been T-Boy as well this week, actually. But yeah, tonight, right, ended up. I was really late running, and I've shared this with Robin already. I want to share this. I had a bit of parenting this evening. I've come back and my young lad, who's 11, he's been banned for 2 weeks on Xbox for saying, I fucking hate you. I wish you weren't my fucking cousin, to his cousin. Basically, he got ghosted, I think the phrase is, for like 5 or 10 minutes, where they were ignoring him and pretending they couldn't hear him. And like, he's lost his temper. I've told him, I says, don't care, lad, about you swearing. We all know we swear. Yeah. We just don't do it in front of our parents. I says, and the thing that's disappointed me, son, is you've put it in writing on the text chat so you can get done by Xbox. Says, I thought I taught you better than that. So, but the question I've got tonight is, which is the more heinous crime? Telling your cousin to fuck off, yeah, or grassing your cousin up to Xbox and reporting him and getting him a 2-week ban?
Definitely the latter.
Did his cousin grass him up?
Yeah, he's reporting him. And Xbox have given him a 2-week ban. He's not allowed to play online with other people.
I think that's reaction. I think that's equal.
He was funny.
I think that's his punishment. He's had his punishment. He was silly enough to post it, and he got done.
What I said to him. We all do daft things, just don't get caught. But yeah, funny. So yeah, crazy week. Finished off tonight. Made me running late. The only thing I'm not running late by is Josh's best excuse. You got hit by the snow, bruv.
That's it. It seems like every other week I get hit by the snow. But I'm going to jump out of here and log out and log back in under my personal account since Walt's still here under Iron Raw Media.
So if you guys, and I'll say hello to the guests.
Yeah, I'm having trouble. Every time I hit the link, even though I've signed in and out under my name, it joins me with your name, I guess, because that's how I launched it and that's how my computer's reading the invite. I don't know.
That could be.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We don't normally do this with two accounts doing it. So the sound seems to be okay now. Am I?
Yeah, Josh
wrong?
has stopped ruining things.
Well, it's perfectly normal for us, really, to cock everything up at the start of the show. So
It's not bad, is it, really? I mean, last time we had Roxanne with no working mic. Let's say hello to Roxanne. Or does your mic work, Roxanne?
My mic is working.
All right.
yay!
Hey.
Good evening.
Good evening, guys. How you all doing?
Very well, Roxanne.
You've heard.
Yeah.
All have that Friday feeling because I do.
Have you ever spent a winter without snow?
Say that.
Well, I'll put it different. Have you ever spent a winter without it being freezing temperatures?
Yeah.
Isn't it lovely?
It is.
You smug git. Isn't it lovely?
You know what? I speak to someone regularly that lives over in Tenerife and they run on a regular, out in a t-shirt and vest at 8 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, we've got hats, gloves, scarves, 3 layers on, liberties.
Right.
Come on, then. Let's bring the others in.
I was going to say, we'll carry on. Jason, you're in top left, so we'll start there. Evening, Jason. Guys. You all right, bruv?
You're right.
Good, mate.
Yeah, I've had quite a busy week. I got invited to join a new Facebook group that just recently started called the World Flat Earth Association, and it's quite an interesting group. There's actually people literally from all over the world that have started onto this group. And what they're doing is trying to create a moderator for every country, right, throughout the whole world. And we've created like a back channel chat where we can keep everybody informed on what's happening with all the conferences and any tours like what I'm about to do. It's really interesting. So I've got to speak to quite a few people. So far, I was just actually going through a few places that have joined up, but that are on the back channel chat so far. Like Spain, Venezuela, USA, Argentina, Egypt, Germany, Belgium, Ecuador, Mexico, and so many more. It's fascinating. I've been speaking to people from all over the world, all about flat Earth. Been great.
Bro. I still struggle with the world. I know it's not like a ball, but when I say world,
yes,
and I hate the word world.
Yeah, Roxanne pulled me up over that the other day, and she said the same. She says I don't like world, but world doesn't mean global.
No, it doesn't. I know.
Sorry about my language. The word triggers me.
Yeah.
It's like guilt by association or something. I don't know.
Well, it's part of the whole rewriting the language that we're having to do. I mean, we're doing it with the science side for sure, but we're even having to use, just like you said, I'll catch myself saying global or catch myself saying across the globe or across the world. It's hard. It's really hard to change. So try to use plain is my default, right?
That's it. We're all indoctrinated. We're all brainwashed, and it's hard to shake it sometimes.
Seem to be like way way less offended by the word Earth. Like,
Yes.
when you look up the definition of world and you backtrack it, yeah, obviously it goes back to a ball. So obviously we're triggered over that. But it's funny how a word can kind of make us go. And you know, if it was the you know, the International International Earth Association. I don't know what the name of it was again, James.
It's the World Flat Earth Association, and it's got flat Earth. It's about to be changed. We've got a suggestion for a name change. Literally just started, and we thought right from the beginning it doesn't really roll off the tongue that well.
You're right, Jason. Rox, it triggered me. That's why I had to mention it. Honestly, it just triggered me straight away, mate.
Yeah, it's
World Flat Earth. It's just like.
I joined it.
Are you a bit bally? Is that what you mean? You're a bit bally.
Hey, look, it's not my group. I was just invited to go to it. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because don't forget, in other countries, world might mean kind of something a little bit more different than us.
Example?
I don't know.
Chat room on that one. Just the chat room, another definition for the world.
Yeah.
Word.
Whilst we're doing shout outs on the chat room, shout out to Renee Galuccia, I think, is it? Flat Earth Family. Love destroying the demonic spinning ball deception. See you at Question Everything Conference 2019. UE29.com. Love Harty.
I'll do a shout
Love Harty's. Love Harty's face. Yeah, do it.
Shout out to Robin, who's still waiting there patiently.
That's fine, kid. It's fine, John. It's all right.
We saved the best for last.
Do it,
Well,
John. Then.
I don't know about that. some fairly awesome people here.
How's your week been, Robin?
It's been really, really full, actually, not just through work and all those normal stuff, but on the small side, I've been distracted by students who keep approaching me to do their media projects for Flat Earth. I think it's because I'm on the meetup.com. That's all I can put it down to. So if anyone is running a meetup, I really recommend it, because I think every media department in every university has got a curious person in it that just thinks that's an interesting subject. Let's go and find the nearest flat earther. So I've been across to see 2 groups in the last sort of 7 to 10 days now, both in Bath. So let's see where that goes. And the other thing I've had is I've got a website called provetheglobe.com, which challenges anyone to come up with some proofs. And I've had an email exchange, a guy who was a bit lazy in his response. He came back eventually. And he said, I want to set the ground rules for this conversation. And I said, okay, well, you show me your proofs, and we'll go from there. You know, let's have a Skype call. That's what it's about. Let's have a live conversation where you can bring them, much like Anthony's doing today. And I could share the emails, but they are eventually quite funny, because he just wants to set the precedent for what is a theory. And in the end, I said, look, it doesn't really matter what I think a theory is. You've got to bring it. You know, you've got to bring your proofs. And he just wouldn't. And in the end, I said, look, unless you can show me something, you want to put it down now? I'll give you a list of things I would consider proofs of a flat Earth. So measurable curvature, the proof that 2 pressurized systems can coexist without a barrier. And the other one was, I forget now, there was 3 or 4 that I laid down. And he just got triggered in his emails. And I'm going to share those emails on the website, provetheglobe.com. And it ended, okay, if you're not going to bring it, you're going to go on the Hall of Shame. Because I've got a Hall of Fame and a Hall of Shame. And no one's made it on the Hall of Shame yet, except this one guy. So he's going to make it, I'm afraid, for getting triggered on emails. I mean, how cowardly is that? Triggered on emails and walks away. Can't even come to a Skype call, a private one, you know, hangout, a Skype call. So that's been a little bit of a distraction. But in the meantime, you know, lots of things have been going on. If you want me to share them, I will. A few things about the convention.
Yeah, sure. I'm still hearing that noise. Walt, are you?
I'll go on mute.
Right now, are we hearing it?
Yeah, I've been hearing it. I don't know where.
Yeah, it's just Robin's end. It's fine. It's funny.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Don't worry.
No, Robin, I think it might be you. I think there might be a short in your cord somewhere.
I was going to say it looks like it might be a short from what I'm seeing too.
Really, from
I saw
me?
the same
Okay.
thing.
It seemed to go away once you muted up.
Okay.
You noticed that the first 20 minutes of an IRM show turns into like technical help desk.
It does.
Seems to have gone
We
away.
talked about that this morning on TFR, how everything can be fine on a Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. We're not live. As soon as we go live, the freaking gremlins come out.
I'm not hearing it anymore, though.
Nope, I'm not hearing it anymore either. So maybe it's not.
And Robin's not muted, so.
Well, this mic works okay at work, you know, when I use it for work. So
no, you sound incredibly.
Yeah, it sounds
clear.
great now, man. It's every time we narrow it down, it moves to another person's mic. I don't know.
Roxanne, can you unmute? And...
I think she's gone for a drink.
No, she's just unmuted.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
all good.
Good job.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Before Robin talks about the conventions, can I just briefly mention, has anybody seen Dr. John's latest upload calling out Mick West?
No, I've not had a chance. Spill it, Roxanne.
If anyone's gone over there yet, go over to Dr. John D's channel at some point this evening. Please take a look at his most recent upload. The next observation is next weekend, Friday and Saturday. If you want to be involved and go down there, his website, his email address is on his most recent upload. Email him, get in touch, get involved. Please, pretty please, take a look at his most recent upload. I think Paul on the Plane has mirrored it already. It's getting serious, you know.
Yeah, I retweeted that earlier, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Yeah, very interesting. Get into the nitty gritty. That's what we're getting to. Get into the nitty.
We got a response from Mick West, didn't we, last week's show?
John, it might be your sound.
It might be. You and Adam were the only other two that were muted when it was going on. That's why I muted up, just to make sure it couldn't be me.
I will mute.
Sorry, I'll it as well.
Oh, what the hell? This is ridiculous.
Is there a way we can do like a little roulette thing to like see what it is?
Well, we were kind of trying to do it, but it just wasn't working so well.
I'm happy to blame Savage because historically I got the blame for everything. So
I think historically I got the blame for everything.
Still clicky, isn't it? John's
it is clicky.
Damn, it could be me again. Damn. Even Oakley blames me for stuff.
It's got to be you, Adam, with your dodgy USB cords.
Take. I'm not having it.
Knock off headsets and.
I shall mute as best I can then.
Guys, it might even be me because I'm on my mobile and it's charging at the moment, so it might even be me. I might be the one with the dodgy connection. Possibly, maybe.
Move on. It's not that bad. Right, it is me.
It is Meakin. There you go.
Tough. There's nothing I can do now, other than cry.
Better luck next week.
Look, before we get on to Robin's stuff, I did want to go to Jason's first because there's a couple of bits that Robin's gonna discuss, and it's probably a bit more distracting. So, Jason, where are you up to, bruv? Where are you going? Where you decided not to go? Who's coming with you? What's the score?
It's really difficult because the other two alongside me, they know what's going on. We've got an announcement, but that was actually said anyway the other day, which is we've now got Dave Murphy who's joining the tour, which is Awesome. He's coming with us for I think it's about 2 weeks. He's coming for 2 weeks over the Eastern Bloc countries. You know, I think it starts off from Bratislava. I will tell you. I'll just get my page.
Bratislava.
That's the one I wanted to say. There you go. I've got my page now. So yeah, so he's joining us. It's a great trip where he's coming on at Bratislava. Yeah, Bratislava. God, I'm just find where he is. There he is. And then from there, he's joined us with Budapest, Moldova, Serbia, Kosovo, Macedonia. We're going to be doing another interview at Macedonia where he did this interview last time.
Saying that the famous one.
With Milenko, that's right. That's the famous one. Well, yeah, Milenko's reached out to Dave. Dave's going to told him about, like that we're doing this trip, and so we should be meeting up again.
So this could be huge then in Macedonia.
Yes.
In that country, he's huge. He's meeting up with Dave and the tour.
Well, I was doing a bit of research on him as well. I mean, like this guy's he's interviewed prime ministers and all sorts over there. You know, he's a big interviewer over there. He is reporter. So we've got him. We've got Dave for the entire 2 weeks. I think he leaves us around about Slovenia, but who knows? I might actually keep him on. You know, so we can carry on to Italy to. So we're all dying to get to your house. We are.
Can't wait, mate. I can't wait.
We can't. Yeah. So I mean, like that's kind of like what the biggest news that this week is. It's Dave really, but we have got some extremely big news, and I'm sorry, but we're gonna leave it till next time.
Oh, good lad.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep you all hanging on. This is well, I think Robin's doing a podcast with this gentleman on Friday morning, aren't you, Robin? Yeah, and obviously they're doing a podcast with this gentleman. This gentleman who I'm just going to throw a little snippet in there. This gentleman's going to be my right-hand man for the entire journey.
Ooh.
And it's big. It's really big. And then that's it. I'm not going to say.
Is it Donald Trump?
That's as far as I go on that subject. So yeah, it's really exciting. We are so chuffed, and we've got more people that have joined the tour, but we're going to release them, slowly. These names. We're going to do it. We're just trying to keep the interest, like rolling instead of like just splurting it all out in one go. So you've had Dave Murphy this week.
Was that a surreptitious way of him asking, can Dave come to my house, by the way?
There you go. Might be.
Dave's more than welcome.
Of course he is. I've already said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's staying on that long, but he's very welcome to. It'd be brilliant.
Only RH positives allowed in your house, Adam.
I don't even know what I am.
Yeah, it'll be some conversation because for the other person that will be with us, Adam, I tell you what, this guy will blow your socks off. I mean, like, just incredible.
We chatted late one night in the bar for a bit at the conference at Easter last year. Yeah, top bloke, really nice bloke. As well as chatting about his son and stuff like that. And it's always nice to meet somebody who's a little bit older than you. Like when we chatted to Crow, it's always nice to get a different perspective from somebody who's, no disrespect, but it's nice to have somebody who's a bit more mature than you.
Yeah, well, he's a wise man.
And it's in a different perspective. Yeah, it's good. And maybe in that environment, a bit more chewing of the cud, because there's a lot of stuff that Dave's talks about that I find very interesting, Bible related, because he's very based in using the Bible as a much more reliable source for a lot of other things than historical documents. That was part of the chats we were having. So yeah, more than welcome. More the merrier, mate. There's plenty of room. You know what I mean? So more the merrier.
We chuffed us bits to hear that, I'm sure. Excellent. Yeah, so as far as the rest of the tour goes, not many changes. I think everything's all on. Other than apparently, I'm not sure if you guys have got the same, but I got a thing through the post the other day saying to change my driving license very quick before the end of before March, to do with the Brexit rollout. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have received that. That was just a random letter I got this week.
Who was that from?
From DVLA. That was from. Was it DVLA? Yeah.
And what were they saying?
If you pay us this amount of money, we'll give you a new driving license, and then you don't have anything to worry about, unless, of course, the rules change between now and Brexit, and then you might have to pay again. Something along those lines, was it?
Well, it almost basically like that. They're asking me to, if I'm going to do any European driving, to sign up for a new license.
I've got a
Tell them to bollocks till
green
the rules are
bit of
defined.
paper that says I can drive till I'm 80, as far as I know, and that's accepted
Hey,
all
John,
across Europe.
is yours still? I've still got a paper license. I refuse to get the photo ID. It's held together with sellotape. Whenever I hire a car abroad, they always laugh, but it's never a problem. They just laugh. I say, I'm not giving it up, and I'm good till I'm 70 odd.
And my misdemeanors are nearly rubbed off it now. It's so old.
I like to keep one on.
You can barely read them, is what I'm saying.
I think 3 points is a necessity.
But yeah, I looked into that about Europe. Well, it was Australia as to whether I needed the photo ID, papers, please, thing, and I was told no, that the green paper license is valid as it says until it's not valid, which is when you're about 70 or 80, something like that.
Right.
I don't know. A bit more research needed. I reckon that sounds like the DVLA are trying to revenue generate.
I'll grab that bit of paper. 1 sec.
But still, 2 weeks with Dave Murphy, that's exciting. That's a whole vacation. You could charge seats, take a vacation, come join the tour. That'd be exciting, though. That'd be a lot of fun.
I'd be interesting to know what, like you said, charging seats is. Does it cost people to join the tour? How does that all work? I mean, we should wait for Jason to get back, really, shouldn't we? But Roxanne's around.
Kind of like Forrest Gump. You just start running and see who joins in behind you.
Who feeds everyone, and where's all that? The logistics of it all come from.
And one day I just felt like touring.
Is that question directed to somebody or everybody?
Yourself, well, whoever's going on the tour. So Jason's done a runner, so
I will say this much. For this current tour, Jason's got pretty much a strict regime set out for budgeting and how we really got a good taster the first time round for how to orchestrate things daily and try and stick to somewhat of a strict regime. To be fair, like, it is quite easy to slip into a routine of, well, we'll just do this for convenience, but where the camper vans have got cooking facilities on them, Jason, I don't know if you guys know, he's a vegan, and Harry isn't a meat eater either. So the camper van was pretty much stocked with healthy goods, and people really were very generous with their donations. Like, Adam, you witnessed that for yourself, so you don't have to take my word for it. Adam witnessed that for himself in Nottingham. That lady that came out, like, she stacked the guys for the rest of the tour. Am I wrong?
No, it wasn't so much donation, it's the effort that involved. Someone hurt, like...
That was not like it was more than a marginal donation. Epic. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And just the perpetualness of people's generosity and the time and the effort that was put into to doing things like that. That was, you know, something that no one foresaw happening. There was nothing in our regime for, oh yeah, people might bring out food and sort us out. No. And what happened was just, it was really an eye opener. I mean,
it sort of sounds like build it and they will come sort of thing, you know, that
Yep.
doesn't matter what you do, something will look after you along the way. So there's no sort of upfront fee. Anyone can join the tour, and it's just a case of the food will materialize somehow, or is there someone's credit card that's going to take a beating if it doesn't?
yeah, you're absolutely right. So realistically speaking, Jason does have a set budget in place for what he's going to do on a daily basis, but realistically speaking, there will be cooked food on the camper every day.
But if people rock up with loads of food and you don't have to cook, what a bonus. I'm thinking, like, what is it going to be? 40 breakfasts around Europe, Jace, for you, innit? 40 different fries.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll have to forewarn everyone that I'm on a vegan diet myself, but you know, I make things awkward now.
Fully vegan.
Fully vegan. Ever since Flat Earth, day one of Flat Earth, yeah.
And how are you feeling on it?
Really good. I went vegan because of, I was speaking to Mark, Pilgrim Flat Earther, who's on YouTube. He's a very good friend of Harry's. When I first came to the first campsite, it was my first kind of introduction to kind of like with Flat Earth and seeing Harry for the first time. Well, Mark was there, and he was talking about veganism and that, and I just thought, oh god, here we go again, because I've had these conversations before, and I just thought, oh, just these people don't shut up anyway. But it was really nice. He was calm with it. He was talking about it, and I was getting an awful lot of chest pains at the time. I think I was working quite a lot. I had 4 or 5 businesses, and I was doing 90 to 100 hours a week, so I was kind of really stressed out, and I was having very bad chest pains, and I kind of refused to go to the doctor, and you're just like, you know, I'll just concentrating on work and that. And he told me about this, and he said it'd probably help. And I thought, well, literally, I like vegetables, you know, like I felt as though I didn't need meat. So I just made a conscious decision. And after speaking to Mark, I made a switch, boom, just switched like that and said no to meat, no to dairy, no to all of that stuff. And I think I noticed a massive change within 2 or 3 months. All my chest pains, all my pains, a lot more energy, just everything changed within 2 or 3 months. Bags of energy for Flat Earth now. Yeah.
I'd love to ask at this point what Robin's eating while he's chugging down his beer.
I will show you now.
Chicken.
Kettle chips, sour cream, and sweet onion.
Vegan.
Yeah, I've been vegan now for about 3 months.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my daughter came home from work and just said, she's done it twice now. She came home from work and said, someone at work says the earth is flat. Converted me into Flat Earth. and then she came home in November and said, I really want to be vegan. But I'd been thinking about it for a long time. And I just thought, if I'm cooking meals for everyone in the family, how do I cope with just the odd one out having to go different? And in the end, I thought, well, there's 2 of us now. So it's 2v2, you know, I make 2 meat eaters and two vegan.
That's amazing. I'm seeing veganism like snowball in just on the topic, whether people are becoming vegan. Well, I mean, people becoming vegan is snowballing and that, but just the topic itself is on fire at the moment.
It is.
Not sure why.
And in the chat room, Bob from Globebuster says I've been vegan for 5 weeks and I'm still alive. Yeah. Yeah. So,
wow.
There's a lot
I
of
must
good
admit-
stuff on it, isn't there? Right. But have you guys seen the YouTuber Spherge? SV. He's a ex-vegan. Talks about the harm it did to him in terms of long term. Now goes around eating raw meat, raw fish.
Oh yeah,
in
I've
public.
heard about
Have you
that.
seen? It's
gross.
I like. I don't eat a lot of meat. I like Valentine's Day. I had a steak, and I really enjoyed the steak. But actually, for most meals, they're not purposely vegetarian. But pasta with a tomato sauce and bread is just the way it is. It's quite natural for me to not have meat in it. Like tonight's meal, I had grilled cheese salad with eggs. Here's a quandary then for the vegans. I have my own chickens. If I stop eating the eggs, what should I do with them chickens?
Play with them. Play with them till they die naturally.
I tried.
I must admit, I'm not going to get bent out of shape if one day I go into a restaurant with friends and there's nothing on there except vegetarian that I like. You know, if there's a vegetarian lasagna, I'm going to probably choose that, and I'm not going to scour every supermarket shelf for everything I buy, because this is a journey, and you know, I'm not going to beat myself up if I can't do it.
I think that's the important thing, is not to be utterly rigid on these sort of things. I mean, it's okay to dip in and out. I mean, it's not going to kill you, but I think
on the whole, it's the 80-20 rule, isn't it? I'm not giving myself a license to just do what the hell I want, but on the whole, the 80-20 rule should work, or 90-10. You know,
that seems a more achievable thing for someone like me, Robin. You know what I mean? If I was going to look towards really refining my diet and heading towards vegan, I think if I set my target of being a vegan, it would just fail miserably. Do you know what I mean? Because I do enjoy, but actually that kind of ratio, which like I said, I don't think I'm far off. I think for me, vegetarianism is more than achievable. But veganism, I think for me, I'd struggle. I'd do.
Yeah, but that's only because you haven't taught yourself these new ways of cooking, these new meals, and there's probably lots of meals there that you've never heard of yet, and you just find other ways around it, and because I thought myself, I didn't want to give myself a label as I'm a vegan. I hate that; it bugs the hell out of me. It does. You know, I almost agree with what Robin just said. Then, you know, like I don't want to be an arsehole about being a vegan. I feel like
an ex-smoker.
Well, I think if I slip in something, you know, I find out later that something was in a particular ingredient of something that I've just eaten, then I'm not going to get bent out of shape over it. You know, it just is what it is. You know, like, but I do choose to shop a certain way.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, is that a lot of people probably don't do this, or they don't know how to do this, because they don't know how to make a vegetarian, let's just be simple and make a vegetarian meal. I mean, I've got cookbooks of vegetarian meals, and I was an ex-chef, but it's still something that I wouldn't entirely know how to. I mean, I love salads, but I always have either meat or fish with them, and I eat mountains of them, and then I'm starving about an hour later. So it's how to, you know, compensate and get that filling feeling that you're in. I don't know, it's difficult.
Well, I've realized that you can make a pasta bake on one side of the kitchen with chicken in it, and on the other side you can make I go to Lidl most of the time, and then top up at Sainsbury's, and you can buy like a vegan haggis. Sounds a contradiction in terms, but inside that haggis, which isn't made from some kind of gut, inside is not offal. It's
who knows,
like it's like a really good mix of vegetables and onion and
Oh, mate, Robin, well, you had Burns night, and I read my Burns speech the other week, and well, I always partake a little bit of the traditional haggis, but my favourite, and they always get it, is the vegetarian. It's got nuts, onions, carrots, and all the herbs and spice. And it's infinitely better than the meat one. I actually will eat the meat one because I got used to the. It was a lot, and yeah, there's not offal in. And
what I've wanted to do for a long time now, which I have never done, is wanting to go to a high-end vegetarian restaurant or vegan restaurant and have them serve me stuff that I take one bite of and go, wow, that's amazing, and it's got no meat in it. That's what I'm looking for. But hopefully you'll be proud of me insofar as I gave up pork at the start of this month, purely for medical reasons and experimental reasons, observational reasons, whatever you want to call it. But it is cause and effect, I suppose. It is scientific.
Sam talked about to you, didn't he?
Big bump. No, you know why I'm doing it, and yeah. So I'm up, and for me to give up pork. Wow, I mean, I love bacon, I love sausages, I love ham, I love anything to do, black pudding, you name it, anything. And I've gone to, chicken sausages and turkey rashers and all sorts of stuff. But I'll report back if I see any, if I get any positives from it. But yeah.
Well, a question for the vegetarians, because it's something I've weighed and tried to figure out my whole life. Is it not just a health thing? Is it also an esoteric thing in that, the consciousness of the animals? And I know we're herbivores. I know how our mouth is designed. I know how our enzymes are designed. I know that we have these in our body. Now, whether they're supposed to be there, whether it's designed that way, evolution, whatever. But
meat eating teeth. Do we actually have teeth?
We have both, right? Herbivore. Omnivore. We can do both.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Animals, yeah, but to me, plants have just as much consciousness and life, and they get their, energy from the sun. And I don't know. I think we should all just be sun gazing and getting our energy. I think we shouldn't even be eating.
Probably true. But back to the vegan haggis, you break it open and there's a perfect mince. So you make your pasta bolognese or your pasta bake or your lasagna with you, because you can buy vegan cheese and you can buy vegan butter. You can buy all sorts really that are substitutes.
Well, what's it made of? Like, say, vegan cheese. What's it made from?
Yeah, there's a good question. You're talking to a guy so probably too busy to really check.
I'm just thinking Soylent Green. I'm thinking,
yeah.
I for myself, I don't do like the cheese for myself. I feel like there's certain products I don't feel the need to exchange. And there is other products now, like that I've enjoyed. Like they do like vegan sausages, and I defy anyone to tell the difference. These vegan sausages, they taste like sausages.
They're nice, aren't they, mate?
Yeah,
I've tried them.
The Linda McCartney ones. They're just awesome. They are.
What are they called? Sorry, I'm making notes here.
Linda McCartney's sausages. If I give you a sausage butty with some sauce on there or something, you just wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's a sausage butty.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm a sausage connoisseur. I've actually made my own sausages from sheep intestines and from start to finish. I did the Hugh Fernley Whittingstall sausage day, or what is it, a pig in a day. Yeah. So I'll let you know on that front.
Well, I don't do the cheeses at all. I tried that first, and I couldn't find a cheese that actually, because I was a cheese connoisseur. I loved all my matures, and I loved all of that. But like to go on to I just felt so vegan cheese just didn't cut it. It just wasn't the same. It was horrible rubbish.
Is there a problem with cheese because it's not hurting the animal? Or it's an animal product, but it's not.
It's what happens to the cows afterwards. Because in order to have like milk, then you have to have you have to make them fertile, so there will be bobby calves, and then what do you do with them? And they go off to the slaughter, and and then once you have spent cows, what do you do with them? Well, they go off to the slaughter. So although we kind of think our milk's okay, cheese is okay, not really.
So does a cow only produce, or a goat or whatever, do they only produce enough milk to sustain however many calves they've got? Or
well, this is what's horrible about milk production, is that they have a thing called recombinant bovine growth hormone, and it just basically makes them produce more milk. But the problem is that it sort of comes out in the milk as well, and I don't think even through homogenization does it actually get out all that RGBH.
Now, Josh, RGBH cows have not been shown to be any different than cows not treated. No, I'm just being silly, because that's what's printed on every milk carton in America now, trying to convince you that that's not a problem.
Is that why I've got moved?
Probably. Yep, and probably why prepubescent girls are passing for 23.
I mean, I drink, or used to drink, raw milk. It's now been banned, so I don't generally drink milk at all. But it's unhomogenized, and it's whatever it is. But I'm fully on board with the sort of ethical side of animal husbandry, and if I was a hunter in the woods, it would be an honor to sort of take down a deer and then thank it for its life. And I don't know, maybe Zach is probably more in tune with this sort of thing, but I wouldn't want to eat an animal that that had been poorly treated, and I'm more than happy to process an animal myself and eat it. But yeah, from the ethical point of view, I understand that, battery hens and pigs that are living in tiny cells and that sort of thing, that's not a good thing. But what about the sourcing your meat and milk and cheese and all that from ethical or even your own farmyard? Is there something wrong with that?
Roxanne, would you mind muting up? Now it's you this time, just for the record. You're the one popping and making noises now.
Yeah, Roxanne. Yeah.
I find it with like for myself and the ethical side of things, I found it difficult to begin with because I didn't have no compassion towards like cows, pigs, chickens, and all that. No compassion whatsoever. I just seen them. I just seen nice looking packets in the shelf of a supermarket. So like it's very hard. So although I made the switch and the decision to do it for health reasons, I don't think you can switch on compassion towards animals just like that. Where does that come from? Like I had compassion towards pets. I've got dogs, cats, and I would have compassion. I love them to bits and that. But like towards animals, I seen them purely as a commodity. Just it was food. That's all I ever saw it. So, but I think afterwards, you become vegan and you do become aware, and you see a lot of films, a lot of disturbing films, and then you start. I mean, like there's one called Earthlings. I defy anyone to watch that film and not cry while you're watching it, and then if you pull out a bacon sandwich while you're watching it, there's something mentally wrong with you, but then we can make a decision afterwards, and it's a conscious decision whether or not we decide to go vegetarian or vegan. But I think after watching such a film, you should cut down. There's no doubt about it. You should cut down.
I mean, there's something, it's like, Al Gore's film or whatever that they show to children, that they can't help crying about these wasted away polar bears and things like this that, man is destroying and
an inconvenient truth.
Yeah. And in when you
an intolerable pile of bullshit,
it seems to be propaganda. I don't have the time or the motivation to actually look into the whether it's propaganda or not, but I'm open to it all, and I'll read sources that I trust. But yeah, it's an interesting one for me.
I maintain a hard, firm disconnect from the packages that I get in the grocery store.
Yeah, that my wife does, and I did, like, and and that's a choice, like, and that's okay.
Well, I've been a hunter, and I've taken down my own meat. I've dressed it. I've not processed the whole deer, though we've had it processed and eaten everything and used it all. In my age that I am now, I don't know that I could shoot that same deer that I shot when I was 12, 13 years old. I couldn't do it. I have that animal compassion, but I maintain that disconnect so that it doesn't extend into the grocery store. I leave it outside the automatic doors.
But is that because you've got a grocery store? I mean, if you were
absolutely
starving,
yep. If I was a nomad, if I was living the nomad life, and I had
wouldn't think
choice,
twice.
Yeah, I would not think twice. But I would. That's a lie. I would absolutely think twice, and I would be guilt-ridden. But I would know that it's me or him at this point. But that's what it would take. It would take it literally have to be my life or the animals that I'm going to have to kill to eat, because that's the way I'd do it.
I sort of try and practice gratitude so that, whatever I'm eating it gets my gratitude for being on my plate, and I do the same with a glass of water. It's like, thanks for the water or whatever. It's just as as simple or as small as that. But I don't have guilt about it. No.
Anyway, on that subject, let's move forward.
I tell you one last thing, guys. A really good recipe is a Thai green curry with chickpeas, sweet potato, spinach, and it's amazing. I got it from online recipe, but basically, if you peel and chop sweet potatoes into cubes, and you whack them in the oven for 20 minutes with a bit of a spray oil, perhaps, and then you bring them out, pop them in a pan, some chickpeas. Put some Thai green paste in with it, some coconut milk, and then some spinach in as it sort of reduces down. That is an awesome curry.
And I give you something to add towards that.
Go for it, Jason.
Robin, chuck in some jackfruit.
Some jackfruit, eh? Yeah. Sounds good.
Right, I'm expecting one hell of a vegan buffet at this conference. And
well, Tony,
if that's
Riley says he wants to eat a scappy.
Oh, whilst we're on the subject of Riley, shout out to Riley, because he held his show up for us tonight and sent people over. So thanks, Tony. You're a proper gent.
Thank you, mate.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Love you.
Thank you to everyone in the chat room. I'm so sorry I can't see the chat room as well. To anyone who said I ignored them.
Absolutely. Shout out. Absolutely.
In the chat room for the whole evening, but big hugs to you all in the chat room. I'm on my mobile, so I can't use the YouTube app at the same time. It's not letting me. It just says can't connect to the internet, but I'm on the internet. So big hugs to you all, and sorry to anyone that I haven't responded to. It's not that I'm ignoring you, I just can't see you.
I got a couple of shout outs for the chat. Ranty, I've seen you've been missing, mate. I've heard you moving house, so hope you're settling in well, pal.
So Ranty,
stressful time, innit? Worse than a divorce, moving house. Shout out to Ranty there, and one other one. Shout out to Bob there on Globebusters. I'm going to he's invited me in on Sunday, so I'll rock up at some point and give my 2 pennies worth.
Nice, thank you, Bob. Love that, man. And I see Cammie in chat as well. Hello, Cammie. We need to get you on here, Cammie. We've been trying to do that since day one and still haven't had that happen.
We're aiming for the 15th. Moonlight. Could be good. So, Robin, are we going to move on to your announcements that we've got with regards to the FE convention in the UK? And
yeah, so a few things that we can announce is that allegedly Dave Murphy is speaking on the Sunday. So very happy about that. Roxanne and I did a podcast just this week. It was a great podcast. Loads of people in the chat, and really happy that Dave is coming. And not to mention that, when I dropped the question on the Globe-Live tour, then he said, yeah, I'm getting involved in Macedonia and X number of other countries, which was just brilliant, because what will happen is Jason will leave the convention at 1 o'clock.
Meet up, Rox.
Yeah, if Jason will leave the convention at 1 o'clock on the Sunday, and if he will take one or two people out with him, but then Dave will join him. I think the date for Macedonia is the 23rd of October. I think the capital's Skopje, if that's how you pronounce it. But I know that he's booked out several dates on either side of that city. So, Dave will be speaking on the Sunday in the morning, and obviously delighted to have him with us. Couple more announcements which I can't yet make, but all I will say is please stay tuned to Roxanne and my channel on Tuesday night, because we're dropping a podcast Monday night, and they're doing a premiere on my channel on Tuesday night, which will be another one of our speakers. And I know this will actually draw a lot of people in. So we've started selling tickets, and we've got some tickets in the bag, which is great. Loads of inquiries. And a couple of other things is that I did my Bristol meetup this weekend just gone, and the lovely Dan and Kelly, who've been coming for a while now, made a great suggestion. Why don't you brand up a t-shirt and a sweatshirt with a convention logo on, or a Globe-Live tour logo on, and sell them to raise funds for the tour? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the t-shirts and sweatshirts branded up, and we're going to host them on a website, probably Teespring, and we're going to sell t-shirts and sweatshirts, take some stock with us on the day, but obviously with plenty of lead up time, when Jason wants to hit the GoFundMe button, we'll have some produce for people to commemorate both the convention and also the tour, which I think great idea, Dan. Fantastic idea, because it's good to buy a product if you've been somewhere special and you want to commemorate it and take something away. Then how good would it feel to also know that if you spent X amount on a t-shirt, that X percent is going towards Jason's tour, and it's funding what will be, I'm pretty sure, the biggest event of this year in Flat Earth. Well, I don't know how you top that, but
I'm one for the merch. As the guys saw me come back, I came back with stuff for me, stuff for them from the last conference. I don't care if it's consumer. It's something for my, when I'm dribbling in the nursing home, it's something for my special box under my bed. These sorts of things. So I don't care. I'm well up for that. I followed Jason on the FE tour t-shirt.
Thank you, Marilyn, in the chat room, to say you'd pay top dollar for that. Well, yeah, absolutely. If you've been there, you've been part of the tour, why wouldn't you want a t-shirt? I mean, Jason, if we can get all the dates on the back, like a concert tour dates or something like that, how good would that be?
I think this is how you fund the perpetual Flat Earth tour.
Yeah. Well, careful what you say there, John. But Jason, what we're working on is a bit of branding at the moment. I was probably going to go with Jason's branding, but if he's got any other ideas, we'll come together on those, so that we can tie up the branding for the convention and the branding for the tour. And either way, all the funds and all the profits will go into the tour, which I think is fab. And then finally, I'd love to announce that I've spoken to Adam this afternoon, and he's very kindly said that he'd like to be the convention's roving reporter for the weekend. And I would be absolutely honoured and delighted if Iron Realm Media could represent at the convention and have full kind of access to the speakers and the delegates if they want to do interviews. But what I'd love to have here is a real kind of what's going on type raving reporter feel to the convention. So I do not want to do live streams where people pay. It's very clear on that. I'd love to have Adam just go in maybe for 5 minutes of each speaker and then cut the stream. So, you know, you will not get access to these presentations unless you come.
That sounds brilliant, man. And you had a little Freudian slip with raving for a second. You said raving reporter, but you had it right. You had it right.
Well, raving.
I'll do a bit of dancing. Old school. I can do it.
The 3 R's. I'm sure there's
a raving reporter.
That's the first I've heard of it. First I've heard of it. I think that's a great idea. And Adam, yeah, I knew you'd love to do that. Robin, when you say you're not going to see these presentations unless you're there, are you going to be like merching or selling the a DVD recording of the presentations afterwards for people? I mean, what if people just physically can't get there, but they really would like to see the presentations? Not necessarily for free, obviously, but
yeah. Do you know what? That very idea actually creates stress in me, and only because I will be placing all my trust in a media provider who may or may not succeed, and I know the chances are 90%, 100% we're pretty much there. I could sell them. I never thought of doing it afterwards. That is an idea, but because we're in the country, and I've tested the Wi-Fi and I've tested the various phone connections on Vodafone, T-Mobile, EE. I've tested a few of them. What I don't want to do is run the risk of people putting money up front for a live stream and then failing to deliver, because I'm not in a really, really high-powered broadband area.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from there. That would probably give me a heart attack from an IT.
Not to mention, it's quite expensive to hire a company to do that professionally.
Sure. But to actually record every presentation and then
yes,
you can record it yourself and then produce it to DVD or even paid MP3s or something along those lines. Doesn't even have to be videoed, but it would be nice if it was. But if a recording didn't work, then that would literally not be available and tough shit to anyone who couldn't get there. But it'd be lovely to be able to, in years to come, to be able to order that back catalogue and see the conference, even though you couldn't be there. You may be 5 at the moment.
That is a really sweet idea, and because it's not so like time bound and stressful to do live, I think that's not a bad shout. Okay, well, I'll take that away and try and figure out how we're going to make that happen, because that sounds like a good idea.
Even just a little handy cam on a tripod set up in a strategic location.
I wish I was there. I could so much do all that for you guys.
There's been worse coverage of previous conventions that I'm glad were made, on their tape to tape and this sort of thing from the 80s and even the 70s. Who knows who will want to listen to this in 10, 20 years time.
Well, let me tell you, there's the speakers that we've got are absolutely phenomenal, and I just can't see how this event won't be such a memorable thing, because we've got the Globalite tour rolling into town, having done 2 weeks, a big Friday night bash, Roxanne and I presenting. We are. Roxanne's the highlight. It's
going to be awesome.
The whole speaker circuit is just going to be phenomenal.
You're making history, and it would be such a shame not to record it.
I got to get there.
We were talking about raving earlier, yeah. I've got a VHS cassette of me going to my first rave, and mate, look, yeah, you got it, big box, little box,
Cardboard box.
throwing some shapes.
Real quick for a second here, we have some shout outs for some people in chat.
Do those super chats.
Shouted us out a little super chat there, and then he got underbid by 1 penny, or not a penny, I guess. What is the denomination there?
Penny.
Is it a penny? Okay, in for a penny, in for a pound, I suppose. Dan W. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to Waking Warrior 2 has joined us in chat as well. That is Sarah 8 Smiles, who was on our Truth Frequency show this morning on the Ironworks with us. Again, I'm going to plug that until I get it over here on the channel so you can watch it, because it is amazing. You should go see it, or actually go hear it. You'll see it here. I'll shut up.
That's my tomorrow afternoon, Walter.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the buzz in this place is just going to be phenomenal. And you know, I didn't realize when Charlotte first went in to see the venue that it could actually take 500 during the day. I thought if I get over 200 and maybe increase where I was last year, where Gary and Dee Dee were last year. But the reality is the community's grown, or the community's grown so much. Everyone's channels at least doubled in the year. Plus, there's so many more joins awake. Would love to be part of it. And who wouldn't want to connect with people that are like-minded on the same wavelength and you can get on with, and just, you know, spill your guts and say, you know, I wanted to chat about Flat Earth for months, but I haven't had anyone to talk to. How good would it be to just share a whole weekend like that, where you're in the pub, you're sharing dinner, and you're watching some awesome presentations? I don't see the downside. So fingers crossed, we get over the 200-300. We're certainly over 200. My target is 300, but in reality, if we could get as high as 400 or 500, if we sell lots of day tickets on top of the residential. So let's see what happens.
Just thinking out loud here, I heard a commercial on the radio just days ago about some kind of special program they're doing with one of the airlines. I'm not saying any names. If you do the research, you'll find it. But they're offering packages to Amsterdam. So what we should do is get a group here together in the States and all group up and make a trip out of this whole thing and be there. I want to be there. Yeah. I think we could do it.
If you're a mud flooder, go to Amsterdam, try and find the mud flood buildings. Make a trip of Europe, go to Paris, go to Madrid. How awesome would that be?
Yeah. I wanted to
say, selling
it. Sorry, when we leave on the UK convention, Diddy, who's organising the Amsterdam convention, she's going to be leaving with me. So when she leaves with me, we'll be going all the way to the down to France and Spain, Portugal, and round again and back Switzerland, and we're heading straight back to Amsterdam. After we do the Amsterdam convention, the day after as well, we're doing an Amsterdam activism event there in the streets of Amsterdam as well. So yeah, if anyone wants to come from the States and that, you have to give yourself one more day as well, because you're there with us.
I'm forgetting another thing. Thanks, Jason. I'm forgetting another thing is on Tuesday, the podcast drops for Roxanne and I, and this guest speaker has also announced to Jason during that interview that he'll be joining him. So Monday, if you've got a subscription, if you subscribe to the podcast, Roxanne and Robin's podcast, on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud, you can get the podcast, and it'll drop Monday, probably about 8 p.m. And then we premiere on Tuesday night. And you will find out that this person is joining Jason, probably in Ireland, don't we think? I think we are. I think he's agreed. He's happy to come early and join.
I think were we 95% sure he starts there? Yeah.
So I think on that note, Josh,
he may have already dropped the diamond chat. He may have let the cat out of the bag a little bit. Although he may have been just hinting around. I don't think he said anything officially. But especially when you say where he's picking up from, if you know who it is, then it's pretty obvious. But
no, not necessarily. We've got lots of big Dave.
Ooh, see, this is exciting.
You don't know. You've guessed well.
Yes.
And your money is safe in this house, but you've also missed something else that's coming up.
Yeah.
on that note, Josh, there was something me and Robin were talking about earlier that maybe Friday on TFR, give a quick rundown on this because there's a lot about to happen next week. Thought it might be worth a TFR shout out as soon as we can fit it in, but
100% Friday.
No, hell yeah.
That was hell yeah.
You don't got nothing going on TFR. Space lettuce.
Please save us.
Killing you, Walt, in it.
So watch this space. Monday and Tuesday are big days for us, and Friday too next week. There'll be some more, but I think you should stay tuned Monday and Tuesday. Have you guys got a podcast app on your phones? Because I recommend Overcast, which is just really good app. You know, here it is. It allows you to play the podcast, double speed, boost for the voice, rewind, fast forward. It's just a great app.
You listening, John?
And subscribe because you can just get the news first. We tend to do the podcast first and then promote on a premiere a few days later.
Robin, I've got a Nokia 5210. How do I get that?
I used to have a friend at work who had one of those, and he would just smooth it like this. He would stroke his finger across the top of it like this and go, "No, it don't work." He used to crack me up.
Yeah, I'm not fluent in swooshing.
Don't blame you. No GPS tags on those bad boys.
No, definitely not. I was having trouble trying to get David Weiss's app working on my wife's swoosh tab fondle slab, and I just couldn't get it going. And he sent me how to do it, and I just thought, no, I'll give it to the kids. They'll work it out.
Yeah, fair dues. So that's pretty much it. My announcements, guys. There's more there. Like I say, there's more coming, which I can't share now. But feconvention.com is where you buy the tickets. And if you want to become part of the Facebook group, there's a Global Convention UK 2019 Facebook group.
Oh, you need to hook them up with the Facebook group you were talking about, Jason.
Yeah, let me pop them in the chat. I'll pop Jason's Facebook group, and
not
also
the world, Effie,
and the world one Jason can do. But
how is world synonymous with ball? I don't understand that.
It's not. It just feels it. It was the point I think both me and Roxanne were making.
Phonetically, it's, spun around.
Yeah, I get that. The whirl, yeah. Whirling in a world.
Jonathan Was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will keep you in suspense, Marilyn. Sorry about that.
Such a tease. You're such a tease.
We're going to round out in a minute then. Jason, have you got anything you just want to reiterate and then just give a shout out for your site where people can contact you, beg for a place on the tour, bribe you for a place on the tour, whatever's.
No, I think. Am I speaking? Yeah, I am. Yeah. No, I think we've said everything for this week. We've got some really big big names to shout out next week, within the next couple of weeks. We don't want to give it all to you this week. Yeah, no, it's not much more to say. It's a shame. I wanted to tell you guys one other name this week, and I can't. I'm not allowed to.
So lots more to come. That's great
There's
news.
so much more to come. There really is. Yeah. Other than give a big up to Diddy and Gary. They're getting on with their convention and that. And although we talk about the UK convention this weekend and the European tour and that, but we've got the Amsterdam convention, and so looking forward to that as well. That's going to be the very fact that we've got it so close by, but in another country as well. Brilliant. Can't wait.
So, just asking for a friend, if he wanted to be picked up in, say, Exeter and join the tour all the way down to Adam's Place and then stop there for a little while and maybe pick the tour up back from Adam's Place back to Exeter, would that be a go?
No. No, we're starting to get quite full now. There's a few places left, but I've nearly filled the whole tour up.
You're gonna need a road train soon. You're gonna need one of these like 60-foot road trains or something.
Well, funny you should say that. Me and Roxanne are working on something.
I was going to say, is the contingency to get? I told you it was going to turn into a gumball rally, didn't I?
Well, you know what Roxanne always says: lemonade versus champagne. We've got a lemonade tour and a champagne tour, and we're just leaving it in Roxanne's hands, and maybe we'll have the champagne.
I thought Roxanne liked lemonade and champagne pre-mixed by Marks and Spencer's.
Only when it's on a deal.
I'm seeing the film Convoy here. I'm seeing
that is the key word, convoy. But
mercy sakes alive.
We've got a convoy of National Lampoon, which would be the rags version, or we've got the riches version, which for now will be undisclosed until we have more information on what the possibilities of that might be.
It's follow Adam's Porsche. Convoy.
And Jason, we have to say that Roxanne is connecting more people and energizing more people than we could possibly do on our own.
Listen, guys, I don't know if he's in the chat room, but shout out to Richard Lopez, because I got shown by the best. This guy.
And Roxanne is doing so much behind the scenes.
Yeah, seriously. But that's what it's about. Once you know, people know they're not living on what they were taught they were living on. It's just about putting people together and saying, okay, let's make as much together. We're strong. Like, as long as we can all say that we're not advocating for things that none of us can vouch for. That's my new political correct way of saying it. Let's not vouch for things and advocate for things that is going to cause confliction. And as long as we can do that, together we're strong. Because I think that's where the spats and division come, with people being, because we've got to respect everybody's pursuit of truth. Like Jason said, it's everyone's personal journey, right? So obviously there are going to be, divisions and conflictions, and not everybody's going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know I've said that a million times before, but as long as we can find a way to grow and become respectful of one another, even if there's been divisions in the past, even if we can come together. And, a friend of mine said to me today, that here's a good example. Like that, I've witnessed people out there in the community. I won't say any names. I've definitely witnessed people out there in the community. If we're using the analogy of an olive branch, I've seen people putting 99% of the olive branch out and other people not getting that 1%. Like, we need the 1%ers to just move that 1%, and let's try and find a way to move forward together. We can't agree on everything. Let's agree to disagree on some things. But we're all adults here. Like, we've all got to understand this is the biggest mug off life has ever known. Like, we've all been mugged off in the worst way possible. Those of us that are angry, let's respect that those of us that are angry, they're angry. Yeah. Those of us that are a bit more calm, and I'm not I'm not one of those calm people, by the way, as you all probably know. I try. I'm trying to grow, like all of us are. I'm trying to better every day, every week. Nobody's perfect, least of all me. But like, if we can try, like I said, somehow to try and mediate our way through this and try and find a better understanding of how we can push this forward, get it socially accepted, and then have that civilized argument, because the civilized argument's not happening. Learned individuals think they're coming prepared, and they're not. Like, I don't even have to mention the recent examples. Robin's short documentary, your documentary, the guy was laughing and joking, but it wasn't a laugh and a joke for him, really, because he thought he was prepared, Robin, and he wasn't. The guy thought he was prepared with Dave Murphy, and he wasn't. Like, these learned individuals that are coming to debunk it or to be a naysayer to it, they're stumbling after 30 seconds. And then it's an awkward silence. So while we're not having civilized discussions about this because people aren't taking it seriously, we're going to keep going around in circles like it's been for the last 3-4 years. So once we start learning how to work together and growing, which I'm still doing myself, I've got a long way to go. I think we'll get there. And sorry, like Jason says, there's no off button with me once I start.
No, I think well said, Roxanne. Absolutely well said.
You know what?
I think, Rox, there's a bit...
I just want to give a shout out to the people that are helping me grow, yeah, as an individual, yeah. Marilyn Wisby, yeah, first and foremost. I want to give a massive shout out to Marilyn Wisby. That lady is full of words of wisdom. Like, she's got the t-shirt, she's all sent it back and told them to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Like, you know, there are so many people out there that are helping one another grow and sharing life experiences. And, you know, even from people that I've had divisions with, like I watched Beyond the Imaginary Curve at one point. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that are helping people to grow despite the divisions. There's people out there doing a lot of good work. You know, you've got Nathan Oakley's debate channel, all the guys that are associated with this channel, Mark, Patricia. There is a lot of people out there, Globebusters, Journalism. The list is endless. We'd all have to have an itinerary of, you know, 15 pages worth of list of names of people. Your show reel is a brilliant example of that, Robin, where you put an inundation of people in there, of people that are getting out there despite the ridicule, despite the division, despite the trolling, despite the gatekeeping, despite the tomatoes being thrown at them, and, you know, the social exclusion in their social circles. It's a thankless task talking about this until it's socially accepted. I think we've got a lot of work to do as far as that's concerned, and that's why activism for me is where it's at.
Hear, hear.
I yield. Is that what it is? I yield the floor. Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
I'm so sorry I can't see the chat room. Big love to the chat room.
Well, I reckon that ought to do it, at least for the first half. Yeah.
I don't think anyone could have wrapped it up better than that.
I was about to say the same.
Those that are still listening that I didn't fall to sleep. And yeah, fair enough, in the next episode talk about it. But next weekend is Dr. John's Observation. Please look at Dr. John's channel. And next weekend is Speaker's Corner as well. For those of you that can get to Speaker's Corner at the end of the month, next week is the last Sunday of the month as well. So yeah.
Cue that music.
Thanks for having us on, guys. Appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank Roxanne, Jason, Robin. Awesome.
Are you going to stick around for the second half, or?
You're
all right, Robin. You've got party night. You told me.
Amanda's back in now, so yes, best behaviour now. That's my last beer. I've enjoyed your company, boys. It's been great fun.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thanks
so much for joining us.
Catch you soon, pal.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, Zach.
Cheers, Robin.
Take care, Robin. Thanks for stopping by.
Are you guys talking about the moon soon?
Yes, sir.
So because I've got I want to connect that slightly with the tides.
Absolutely, man. Please hang out and do that. Yes.
Yeah,
you got your marshmallow ready, though. That's the only
Yeah, I was just trying to find what was it? My is it My Perspective? He did a recent one on tides, and I thought it was awesome. It got me thinking quite a lot about tides. I'll leave it for a minute. Yeah.
T minus 30 seconds.
T minus 30.
There we go. There we go.
Don't start with me though.
Right. Well, according to the flat Earth clock on the wall, it's break time coming up.
All right.
Everybody in chat, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. Hang out. It's going to pop back in a few minutes after everything settles, the dust settles. Again, thank you, Robin. Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you, Jason, hanging out. Are you going to hang out, Roxanne? Or are you going to
Yeah,
party?
I'm in it for the long haul.
Awesome.
What I like to hear.
That's awesome.
Well, over to you, Mr. Corey.
All right. Guess that's my cue, huh? I got some music for that. All right, we'll be right back. I got nothing. It's Friday. It's been a while since I've been on the air this long.
Right. I'm just getting Walt flashing his custom T-shirt out. You're right, Zach. Right, guys. Let's drop us out of here then, Josh, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good. I need coffee.
That sounds good. I've got a presentation to do and I've had too much wine. So I'm thinking the same. Maybe about 12 minutes. See you in a bit, guys.
All right.